Yo, yo.
Peace, beloved, peace. It's your homie, Young Content, the unofficial sensei of the culture, mastering youthfulness and contentment. Oh my God, I'll tell you one thing: Mercury in retrograde is fucking up my technology, but it's cool because we're resilient. This is what we fucking do, anyways. Peace. Hope you're having. How's your mind? How's your energy, dude? Chat. Start rolling in here. Tell grandma we're live. We're back on YouTube. I'm unbanned. Nothing can stop me. I'm unbeatable. We are unbeatable. Dojo's unbeatable. Ninjas are unbeatable. Hold on, let me get some lo-fi music going on in here because, that's just the vibe we like. We like the lo-fi girl. We're in the dojo. You're in the dojo, so booyah, booyah. Wow. How's you guys? You guys, thank you for all the free young hashtags off of YouTube. This market has been really wild. I have so many tabs open on my computer right now. We do have a very special guest in the building. We'll get to him in just a second. But I'm just so happy to be back. If the feed isn't working, if you're subscribing, sorry. There's no notifications on that stuff. This is a true podcast. You're not seeing those notifications on Joe Rogan's podcast. You're not going to see it on Young's podcast. We're working on a whole new layout now that we're back on YouTube. Shout out to Laura Zombie, Legend, and Vela. Morning, Sensei. Morning. Good afternoon. Good night. What up, Vela? With your 3 robot self, looking all dope and stuff. Angel, all the way in Mexico. Let's fucking go, YouTube gang. Yay, you're back. Yes, I'm back. You guys gotta retweet everything I'm putting out. Tell everyone to get here. We need more views on these things, more likes. Smash that like button. But without further ado, let's bring in our special guest, the one and only Roboramen. This team came highly recommended, doing really cool, innovative stuff. Shout out to Bitcoinsky for the alley-oop. So without further ado, let's talk to them. What up, man?
What's up? Am I on?
Yeah, you are on.
We're on. That's what's up. Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you for just being willing to be on the show, man. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. I know the ninjas captured you in our black minivan and brought you to the dojo. You're safe, right? They didn't hurt you?
I'm cool. I'm good.
Yeah,
that's just a regular. This is a regular Tuesday for me.
Regular Tuesday. You got, you come highly recommended. So we wanted to make sure you had a nice.
Bitcoinsky's the man. Yeah, Bitcoinsky. He's a go. Obviously, we're working with props, so that's how I know him. But I've been in this space for a while, so I was around when you first started your channel and whatnot. I was a little weirded out a couple weeks ago. I couldn't find you on YouTube,
dude.
Yeah, tell me. I'm sure there's a story. There's a story for that.
People say they watch my stuff, but then I only be getting like 100 views. That's all gonna change. We're all about the slow build. So for those that don't know who you are, what Roboramen NFT is, give them the spiel, man. Wait, before you do that, so I got a sound effect. You were in the dojo. You know that? You know you're in the dojo when you hear the. Take it away,
the dojo. It's official. It's official. My name is Brickowie, and that is my name. And Roboramen. It's robots and ramen. It's a really simple idea, sort of born out of the necessity to create a new sort of break the mold for 3D generatives. So I'm a motion designer, and I have been for the last 7 years, working with places like Apple, Nike, Netflix, Google, all those companies, you name it. Just creating design and animation, primarily 3D. I've been in the NFT space since, I don't know, just pre-apes, like around when Habibi's first launched. I was there when Mark launched his stuff. Just the good old days, basically.
Oh, you were in the good old days.
Oh, the good old days. I was around, man. Jeez. And so, a few months ago, while working on client work and working on my 9 to 5, and being in the NFT space for around a year at that point, me and my homie OG, we were just sort of thinking, okay, you know what, how could we we're seeing what generators are doing. We like this idea, and we're working on these one-of-ones, and we're thinking, how could we sort of break this mold of poor 3D generators coming out? I mean, if you think about it, there's only a handful that you could count on one hand, right? You got the Habibis, the Shaka, the Hoppers, the Smiles, and we had this challenge of like, okay, how can we do something really cool? Something really cool. And we played around with a whole bunch of different ideas, and OG was working on this crazy generative system, and the technology was at this point now. And then it came to this point where we weren't too happy with the ideas, and the idea of RoboRamen was thrown around. We had fun with it. It was like silly and sort of ridiculous. It combined two things that were really about his, just this culture and heritage, and also our love for Gundam and mech and mechanical stuff in general. I threw the first design together, and we were like, this is just something really exciting. And what's really awesome about it is, again, the sort of like generative system we're building this on.
Wait, before you get into the generative system and all that, your design is beautiful. I just went through your Twitter, showed the chat, some really high-end designs, that up close and personal film camera that shows you all the angles. Holy smokes! You even got like slime inside the tubes of
right.
You said you were designing for Apple, and are you still doing that or no?
We a range of clients, and working at different studios, freelancing on and off. And no, I quit actually. So I'm dedicated full time to this. I quit around 5 months ago. The timing was right, man. It's one of those things.
Let's go.
Obviously, I was into NFTs and passionate. I wanted to do my own thing, but also just outside of NFTs in my personal life, I needed some flexibility. And, it was just everything aligned. It was just the time to do this.
Wow. Chat, what do you like more, robots or ramen? I need to know, all right? Send the emojis, spam it up. Let's get the 100 messages.
Usually a 50-50.
What do you like more, robots or ramen?
Ramen, easily.
Really? Are you a ramen head?
Oh, easily. I think if it was just robots, it wouldn't be as, it's not as enticing. It's really the ramen.
I don't think I've ever seen a greater combo in the NFT space.
That's amazing. I love to hear that.
Think about it. Can you name me any other name? I know Mechaverse, Invisible Friends. That was really niche and new, but nothing combined food and robots, right?
Yeah, it's just one of those overly ridiculous idea. And I think what's also fun about it is we're trying to execute it at this insanely high level. And the ramen is the core of this. It's like this regular bowl you'd find in your grandma's kitchen, but it's kitted out.
Oh, don't say grandma's kitchen, because I just be raiding grandma's kitchen, taking her credit card, using it to buy Roboramen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Some people could say some people buy Fortnite with it. I buy NFTs with her credit card.
We're grandma.
Just not for
we
me.
got different relationships with our grandmas.
You have a good relationship with your grandma?
Oh, for sure, man.
That's what's up. Talk to me about your background, your where you come from, born and raised. What were you like as a child? What's that whole jazz?
Yeah. So actually, I'm from Middle Eastern, North African descent. I was born in the U.S. in Washington, but my roots are in Libya. It's a little country in North Africa, and that's actually where I got my start in the whole design and animation industry. I was working for nonprofits back in 2000, from around 2011, 2012. There's a lot of stuff going on in that region. And there was a demand for people who had some sort of technical chops and were able to edit, design, animate. So I was 15 years old, and I found myself, after school going to one of the local news channels and slicing up footage of sort of traumatizing stuff that was happening in the region at the time. But that got me sort of interested in this art of storytelling and working with this medium. And eventually I sort of broke out of that and was doing more creative stuff. Fast forward, I turned 18. I decided to go back to the US. And, I don't come from a creative background. My parents immigrated here. My dad, he had the Euro restaurant, one half selling Euros, the other half a little international market. So it's a very traditional sort of immigrant story. And so I grew up working from a young age on the cashier back there, knowing that this location is eventually going to be mine. I'm going to run this business, right? With me and my brothers. And if anything else, we would just branch out and become doctors or engineers, whatever it is. Because that's how it is. That's the standard. But I was like, let me give this a shot. I have, maybe I am a little bit creative, and I got the chops for it. Now I got a little bit of experience under my belt. Came back to the US in Seattle, and man, I was hungry, and I was just going from studio to studio, company to company, handing out business cards. Just turned 18. And eventually started landing gigs here and there. Started working for Starbucks headquarters. I ended up at Microsoft, doing all these corporate jobs that I look back and I'm extremely grateful for them. And I was very young when I started it. So it gave me this huge advantage and just immense experience. But I found myself in this circle that I wasn't happy in. And I saw people around me who were twice my age, triple my age, still there. And they weren't happy as well. But, you know, I saw that and I was like, okay, I have to get out before it's too late. Before the golden handcuffs, you know, the keys are thrown away.
Because those companies can literally give you salaries and promotions until you're like comfortable as fuck, right?
They lock you in. They give you the stocks, the salary's insane. You know, I'm young, so even just having money like that presented to me, it's really hard to turn away from. And I think that was another reason why I had to do it. And it was the best decision I made. You know, I started freelancing more and having a lot more fun jobs, you know, starting to do stuff that I enjoyed. So whether that was working on music videos, I did a lot of stuff for Nike around sneaker culture. And, you know, that just kept going until I landed my dream job. And even when I was at my dream studio, I was like, you know what, I still need to do my own thing. NFTs came along and it just immediately clicked for me. Immediately clicked from my experience working abroad and seeing how communities overseas don't have the access to art and opportunity and a reasonable, respectable wage like we do here in the US, to just as an artist to, you know, being rewarded for working on personal work beyond likes on Instagram. It just clicked.
Yeah, and you know, what is your take on this current bear market we have? You know, the Shaka Bloods, the Mark the Habibis, these are projects kind of like that are super undervalued, but people are just focused on the next shiny object.
Right.
I feel like you being a part of that team is just an Avenger assembly in a sense. Like, I feel like you're a part of that same, you know, come up
same
story.
Circle. I like that a lot because to me, those are the only artists that I really care about. Well, you know, there's a handful, there's a long list, but the Mark the Habibis, the Shaka Bloods, those are the instant classics. Those are the projects that we're going to look back at down in a few years, and we're going to be proud to represent it and stand behind them. You know, Shaka especially, you know, there's a lot of talk around his floor price constantly and stuff, but the way that he's just been consistent and just quality work, and he's always there, that's not going to go unnoticed. And I'm not here for the sort of short term where, you know, it's all about flipping. And, you know, sort of to prove it, I'm going to I hope I don't eat my words sometime in the future, but I minted an ape and I still haven't let go of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not here for those. I'm not trying to come up off of a single ape.
Yeah.
I'm just here, and I was just lucky enough to be there at that moment. But the projects that I care about and I'm actually invested in are those artists that in a few years from now, it's going to be like you were the first person to discover Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Right? Like you were with Shaka, you were with them. It's like you were watching these people on Tim Westwood before they blew up, actually.
Yeah. Say that. Tim Westwood, Stanley Kubrick, just these, you know, whatever artistry you're in, these are those people. I love that you just said that because
I feel like I'm on the Tim Westwood show right now of NFTs. No, I'm not going to freestyle for anyone, but
dang, seeing what happened to Azuki and all this, like, do you think it's the right time for Roboramen right now? Like, what is going in your head? These are real questions. Shout out to Chelsea in the chat. Chelsea LaSalle says, yes, Roboramen. She says, big love for Shaka. Yusuf El Hadar says, GOAT. I realize I'm doxing myself hard with his account, but I'll do it for the Roboramen. Okay, cool. Welcome to the dojo.
Shout out Yusuf, Chelsea, it's all love. Roboramen. So here's my sort of, you know, school of thought is you don't have to really care about, you know, floor price and numbers and all that, but you do have to take into account people's attitude and just people are tired right now. People are exhausted. To me, it's, you know, first of all, Roboramen's still away from launch. We haven't even put out a launch date yet. A lot of this is going to be updating the next couple of weeks here, but we're not in a rush to launch. Our first tweet was 5 months ago. That's a long time for a project to just be building. And for better or worse, I'm actually sort of happy about that because we've been building with intent. And if you just look at the first artwork that we put out and compare it to one of the more recent drops, our Roboramens have actually evolved and upgraded, and it's continuing to do so. It might look different by the time we launch. So we're still a ways from launch, but if we were to launch, if we were prepared, like let's say now in the next few weeks, and the market is still feeling how it is, we would just probably hold off on this, use that time to build the community, a tight-knit community, find the core members who are still interested because the project didn't launch in a couple weeks and go off of, 30,000 followers, and just sort of buckle down for the long-term plan. And once things are healthy again, the art will be refined and the dev team is ready, and we're working with props, so there's no doubt that they can deliver. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the market conditions, but if I were a project that is looking to launch right now, I would consider delaying it in a thoughtful manner. Talk to your community, figure out how people are feeling.
Yeah, I need you to use your magic voodoo powers and get this dead cat bounce and make 3,500 a real, like get ETH up again. I need ETH to go up again. I need number to go up.
We need to channel it. It's crazy. And this Azuki drama, I've been following it closely all morning. I was in the Twitter space. I was around after the Twitter space when people were, sort of screaming and whatnot. And I have critical thought on it. I think I'm a little bit on the more forgiving side, specifically for Andrew, just because I've been following him for a while, and I feel like he didn't come at this from any malicious point of view. He wasn't, the like stone cold interview we wanted or anything, but just how the actual founder of Azuki handled it, that's just not something I could stand behind personally. Yeah. And I'm not in Azuki.
And apparently 8,000 ETH was moved out of Azuki into 4 or 5 different wallets.
Today?
Yeah, today, 8,000.
You said how much? 8,000?
ETH.
Like 3 zeros, like 3 zeros, like a comma? Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, that's they raised a lot of money. They got a lot of beans and stuff, but we're not going to talk about that.
They got a lot of beans.
A lot of beans everywhere.
They got a lot of beans.
Said, okay, Chelsea, I'm jumping OG the same cliff. Dox time. Yeah, everyone is doxing for you, dude. You seem to have. Wow. What does your community mean to you? Like, how did you build it? And do you have marketing? Like, what's the strat there? And
the strategy for marketing, which is, some people will probably say this is not the way, but we're gonna really push it to its limited C, is just let the work speak for itself. We've tried a couple, and the meta for marketing on Twitter changes so much. 1 week it's the engage
Elon Musk
with this
help
tweet.
us. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So 1 week it's engage with this tweet for Whitelist. Sometimes it's like a super hype Discord, whatever it is. We haven't done any of that. We've definitely played around with the retweet and tag 2 friends, and it just didn't feel right. It didn't sit right with our values. So our play is to just sort of build slowly. We're finding our core community members, and we're reaching out with other, we're sort of tapping into other communities with our art partnerships, which is something I'm really excited about. So the only projects that we're partnering with are projects where the artists are creating a trait for Roboram. It's not just like a whitelist giveaway. The only one that we announced so far is the Hoppers one. That's the first one.
Cool.
And it's going to be a rare trait, but it's not going to be a 1-of-1. This is an actual trait that you'll be able to pull. It has Shaka's full blessing. So it's part of the sort of, extended Hoppers universe. And we have 4 other projects, high quality projects that are already official. And then there's a few that are pending.
If you need the dojo on there, bro, I have a really cool cherry trait. You just put a cherry in that mug, got the dojo ready to go crazy. We
might need to slide the cherry in, a little bowl of cherries.
I got you right here. Hold on.
A bowl of cherries? What's up with the cherries?
Bro, it's my thing, dude. So people equate for me being like horny, but it's not about like anything sexual because I have like a porn stash. It's literally, I was shooting a skit called NFTGURU a year and a half ago, and we were at this lady's house with my friend Julie, and she just had a bowl of cherries in her kitchen. I was like, dude, can I use that for like when I'm in the jacuzzi? And she was like, yeah, go ahead. And it was like a full ass bowl. You know how bowls sometimes are halfway? This was like a full spaghetti. When you drain spaghetti, that kind of bowl. So I was like, cherries just ever since. The Alpha plays.
That was it. Okay. Alpha plays only?
Alpha plays only. Hold on.
Alpha plays only.
How to play
I'm upset because these sound effects aren't coming through to me. I'm hearing them faintly.
They're coming to the user.
Right.
I would have to like blast up the audio and.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's good. Dicey quick.
But yeah, so in terms of, you know, just sort of back on marketing, we're not trying to become that project that, you know, hits 100K and overnight because we tweeted like a picture of a couple of eyeballs. I don't know if you get that reference, but there's been a trend of that. And, you know, just building slowly with intention. It's definitely a part of our goal to hit a certain milestone. I think reaching out to a certain amount of people into the right communities is important. And I want the project to be successful, but there isn't any crazy, I don't think there is like a proper way to market NFTs. That's not figured out yet. That's like
especially when Twitter has all these bots, Discord, you know, you have somebody who has 150 like Twitter followers. It's like, that's not real. Like,
that's not real,
even with me, I want retainment. I want things that retain, you know, the information.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, as of today, we have 4K followers on Twitter, and Twitter is our only sort of outlet of communication. But that 4,000 feels like other projects, 20, 30K. And I know I shouldn't, but I do compare sometimes, and our followers really do show up.
Yeah, they're showing up
people
in the
just
chat right now. Shit.
That's amazing. So, you know, it's that's the game, and we haven't announced this anywhere yet. A lot of people are asking when the Discord is, but we're working on the Discord. And we got like a solid team of just people who just either rocked with me or rock with the idea that they're now part of the Roboramen team. And we're just finding the way to do this where it's actually purposeful and it moves the project and the community forward. So Discord coming soon. You guys stop asking on Twitter until we announce it.
Ready to grind the whitelist. Someone said F whitelist in the chat.
Hold up one sec. My bad. Can you run that back? My headphones just connected to my phone.
So I said, be ready to be prepared to grind the whitelist.
That's the thing, though. You don't have to, because it's going to be private. It's only if you have the RRR, which is our RoboRamen reservation.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. But
that dinner reservation. Let's go. Do you have big goal? I mean, I know you have big goals of like maybe because you see like NFT restaurants, right? Like, is that something you want to implement too? Like real ramen food events? No.
Events, definitely. Events, yes. An actual like trying to branch off an art project into this crazy utility where you get like, you know, a discount somewhere or something. Not so much. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of ways that we want people to engage with Roboramen that's outside of their hardware wallet or their wallet of any sort. And so that does include, you know, fun little food related. I mean, the other thing with Roboramen is not just that it's like, oh, you know what, ramen is cool to build a robot around, is we actually ourselves, me and Oji, just sort of with my, you know, growing up in this restaurant environment and his sort of upbringing, we understand the significance of like sharing a meal with someone and that sort of human connection and that relationship around food. So there are ways that we want to like, you know, explore whatever, maybe the like events at a ramen restaurant or a ramen subscription box of some sort, that goes hand in hand with, you know, the instant ramens and the physicals that we can do. But yeah, in terms of like some sort of ramen related utility, I don't think so. I don't know if we could pull that off. We're just two artists.
This is the way for sure. With that Mandalorian sound effect, this is the way. That is the way for sure. I mean, to be honest, you alluded to something earlier that you are a Bored Ape. You see a lot of Bored Apes using their IP to create restaurants and fast food spots and personal identities. You said you didn't want to take that route to, as far as like maybe using the Bored Ape to market the Roboramen to the other Bored Apes? No,
I never even considered that. I had even just my Bored Ape as a profile picture for a while, but when I, you know, publicly went out like, hey, I'm launching this project, I felt there was responsibility that I just wanted people to just vibe with the project based solely off of the art. If you don't like the art, if you just, you know, that's cool, you don't have to. And I don't want any other sort of reason to attract people. And I recognize that that's what a Bored Ape can do is, oh, you know, like I'm sometimes in Discord where I'll have my Bored Ape as my profile picture, and I'll just drop a hey or hi, and people will just message me about the Bored Ape. Like, do you really have a Bored Ape? And they're like, oh my God, you diamond handed it this long. Like, you know, they're almost just trying to engage with me because I have a Bored Ape, which is really cool. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I sort of decided, I could be looking too deep into this, but I decided if I'm going to do my own project, I just want it to lift itself off its own merit, and not because I was here early, because that's the only reason I got into a Bored Ape.
I love that, bro. I love the humility, the introspection there. Because there's so many people who use their status of like, hey, this Bored Ape is doing this, let's buy it, and then next thing you know, you just get nothing but flippers and shit.
Yeah, and I think I remember seeing that a lot. I'm either just not connected anymore, or I've been following the right people. But it's funny how really nobody in this space has that immense amount of experience. Like even Azuki, which yesterday we thought was the purest, most solid, bulletproof project, even
hold on, I got a sound effect I need to play for that Azuki. Hold on, it's Mortal Kombat.
Is it
Shang Tsung?
It's not shots fired, is it?
No, it's Shang Tsung. Here it goes.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Literally took your brother's soul. Fuck. Sorry, continue.
Where was I? That's so, the way that we thought Azuki yesterday was this like the best team in NFTs. Literally like nothing could take them down. They have experience, they have the proper team, everyone's comparing their project to Azuki. That all changed in a blink of a second. Turns out that they actually don't have the experience, or if they did, it wasn't built on something that we value.
It was built on a bed of lies. You guys fell for lies the whole time.
And I don't have an Azuki, so I'm trying to because it's people's lives are changing based off of this move. You know what I mean? For the worse, or maybe some people came out on top.
This is why it's important to have a docs team, dude. I mean, I've been saying it forever and ever. How many times we've been through dozens of times where we just got bamboozled in this space. Because I get it, you don't want to be doxxed, but there's consequences to that. You're doxing yourself. That's cool as fuck. Like, okay, I know the man that is behind the project, and if he's saying he's like this crazy manga connoisseur, but he's not. You know what I mean? Like, you could just see it through the doxing.
Yeah, of course. When you're doxed, you have to prove yourself, and you have to sort of back what you're putting out there. So, even if you're doxed and you're out here promising this and that, you feel like there's a lot of accountability because your real life is in jeopardy here, right? It's not just you're going to lose your Twitter.
You have a integrity or a code to follow. Feel me?
For sure.
A code to follow here.
Absolutely. So my point being is like, we're all inexperienced. Some people are earlier than others. At the end of the day, we're all inexperienced. There's people who have successful business backgrounds pre-NFTs, and that is valuable, but it doesn't take you all the way. And we're making it very clear with Roboramen that it is truly just an art first project. We've been creating, visual content for some of the world's largest brands for the last 15 plus years, combined experience between me and OG. And there's no reason we didn't plan on stopping anytime soon. And that's still how we're passionate about this. And now we're just taking it into our own hands. Instead of building other people's worlds, we're just going to build our own. And it's going to be, again, just art first. It's focused around visual content. We're not going to promise a Roboramen restaurant, as cool as that would be.
For sure.
We're not. That's out of our area of expertise. We like just creating visual stuff.
Who is OG? Who's OG to you first, and who is OG to the people that don't know him yet?
OG's the second half of Roboramen, and OG's actually going into this anonymous. And it's funny because we were just talking about being doxxed and whatnot. But as a half doxxed team for the most part, OG is still in the sort of Web 2 world, which in our industry is, it doesn't take too kindly to NFTs yet. There's people I worked with who get fired, who get in a lot of trouble. So, you have to, I
talk
completely
about
understand.
Oligarchy, damn. Don't fire
it's
me.
Crazy,
I'm
man.
talking about NFTs, dickhead.
Well, I don't know if it's about, you could talk about it, but like participating to a certain degree has been getting people in trouble. For whatever reason. They're scared, essentially. It's scary for some
think
places.
about it. I mean, the stats of in the US, 3 million Americans left their jobs in March alone. People are
Right.
not. People are leaving their jobs left and right in this motherfucker.
There's definitely a
just
shift.
ways to do it. That's not this. Um, tell your own goddamn story. You know what I mean? Get your family to
Yeah.
love the stories you tell or some shit. Like I'm telling this story now. You know.
Right. There's a shift, and it's definitely scaring some people. But yeah, OG is the technical mastermind behind this crazy generative system that we have. And I don't want to bore people too much, but
No.
Roboram is
The audience
essentially
chat.
built
You
on
have
this.
to take the earwax out of your ears. This right here is the bread and butter. I know the art is dope, but right here, I feel like very few people attack this with like a technological savvy or like something new. But this is like what Bitcoinsky was saying. It's huge. So yeah, I can't
Okay,
wait to.
Bitcoinsky put it on.
Yeah.
And in it, and like we're nerds at our core, and we are interested in about sort of like innovating technology and whatnot. And again, the challenge for us, we were looking at 3D generatives, and generatives for the most part are based on this formula where you have this template model in the center, and then you add all these traits, you minus subtract traits to create the variety. And for 2D projects, you can have essentially no limitation because they're just flat layers on top of each other. For 3D projects, that becomes increasingly more difficult because you start getting stuff like intersection. You have real physical lighting in there that has to interact with each other. So everything can't be cheated. You can't just layer stuff. It actually has to work with each other in a physical space. So traits are usually toned down a little bit. They're usually more realistic, clothing, whatnot. Another reason why, Hoppers and Habibis are so successful is because they broke out of that, but it's very difficult and it's limiting. And we've seen some examples like Hape where their project has clipping and whatnot. And although the team really talented, but again, it's just a limitation of 3D design. So we came into it, and again, OG is the mastermind, but we created this system that essentially is using logic. So we could have whatever width, ball, height, whatever, bulky shoulders, whatever it is. And by setting some rules and some parameters in our system, everything attaches and works together. And this is sort of immediate. The work goes into building that system, but now the trait creation is effortless. We create a trait, we set some rules for it, and it works. So we could generate 100,000 of these and we wouldn't even have to quality check them. So that opens up some doors for us beyond launch so that we can now essentially upgrade and progress. And it's sort of future proof, whatever that means. If you want to take this to the metaverse, these are ready. These are fully realized 3D models. Everyone is unique. They're not the same width and height. They're all different. And from every angle, they're put together properly. So
What
you can do a
language
360
is
spin with it.
Solidity?
Actual language? No, so we're doing this in Houdini, which is a generative software. And it's using a lot of Python built onto that. But paired with Solidity, so paired with stuff that Props is doing, there's a way where we could have our small collection count and we could upgrade essentially these 3D figurines without diluting our collection, so think of like meta wrapping, sort of like Deadfellas is doing. So this just opens up this world for Roboramen where it's like we never have to compromise quality for quantity, and we don't have to worry about quality checking. We never have to go back and say, you know what, we need to rethink our traits because they're not going to work with this upgrade that we want to do 6 months from now.
Have you tested and run the software over and over to see any flaws in the system at all?
Yeah, we do like nightly batches of renders.
And they're all great?
Yeah, they're solid. There's some creative direction stuff that we're still working on, and that just comes down to color and stuff like that. But for example, if you were to open up Roboramen Twitter and find one of the octopus ramen, so those tentacles, for example.
Hold on, let me go to that octopus. I had
see if you could find one.
There it goes. Let's share the screen. Boom.
So those tentacles are sort of like real life tentacles where they're set up in a way where they're looking around the edge of the ball, right? So they're finding the actual rim of the ball and they're wrapping themselves around it. So when the ball shape sizes, or if there's something in the way, it will adapt to that.
Damn,
it's really not a huge deal, right? It's like, okay, you move this thing huge, but it allows us to just assure this is future proof, and we don't have to create the same trait, 20 different times. And what's really exciting about this is, we're thinking about ways that we could use this system and build with other artists, so that maybe people who aren't so technical savvy, because it is a heavy software, could bring their generative into, essentially just upgrade their 3D workflow with this system.
Tentacles moving in real time, like with like an intelligence, seems really scary.
It's not that cool. It's not like actually rapping and stuff. It just sort of like boop, clips out.
That's serious though, because there's I know my people at Huxley are creating 3D version human avatars. I don't even know if they have that type of software. So are you trying to sell this like software proprietary or?
It's still like that's really OG's domain, and it's definitely a ways out. I'll say that, but we're already having the discussion of like, man, maybe we could license this, and maybe we bring this stuff under our own lab, our own studio, so that we can partner with artists around the world. Because I like this idea of working with a diverse group of artists who might not have the technical chops, but they have the creative chops and they have the vision, and they just need that sort of technical support, so that could be an extension of Roboramen in the future. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be
I like that idea.
That's really cool. Licensed Roboramen software, like Windows 93 or 91 or something. Really cool. How did you meet Bitcoinsky?
Bitcoinsky, I didn't think we'd be able to land him, honestly. he's involved with all these heavy hitters. The last project he did before I reached out to him was the Dead Friends drop, actually. And once he did Dead Friends, I was like, all right, you know what? It's time to find another developer.
Yeah, he's getting a little too rock star here.
Yeah, he's Hollywood. He's
yeah.
So I decided, but I want to say someone connected me with Bitcoinsky. Oh, you know what it was? It was actually Mark the Habibi had me, Bitcoinsky, another cool cat in there just calling, and I used it as an opportunity to slide him his friend request, and just started like, hey man, I'm working on something. I think you'd actually appreciate it. And I sent him a little something of Roboramen. I believe that's how it went down. It definitely it started through Mark the Habibi. And once he saw Bitcoinsky, he's become like our biggest fan, to the point where I'm like, dude, do you think this project's actually going to be dope? Or is it just because you're repping props, because he loves Roboramen. He's been super supportive, and I can't wait for people to see the website. We got another Habibi community member to build the website, him and his agency. So it's all in the family. We're keeping it local.
Habibis. He's always he's like Santa Claus on this mug. He has the leverage, man.
Mark's community is crazy. Mark's community is really tight, and just being a part of it, you're connected to so many talented people. So yeah, we're keeping it local. The team is small, basically out of Habibi, man. I keep telling Mark, like, dude, this is an unofficial Habibi project, because it was built in that Discord. But yeah, props. What Bitcoinsky is doing is beyond just Roboramen, is really exciting. He's building a full studio, something that you would see on behind a movie production. It isn't a legitimate studio.
He's building like Miramax.
Literally. So it's, I'm really excited to be associated with a team that beyond Roboramen is going to do huge stuff. We see how important having a good dev team is. Yeah. It's massive. Just look at like Yuga Labs, for example, the Grail. You can't touch Yuga Labs, but look at the other D drop. That's not a good look. You could blame that on the devs, whoever's developing all of that stuff. You could sort of blame the current state of the market on them solely. You know what I mean? So it's crazy just how important it is to have the proper technical support.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, if Bitcoinsky, he's a real connoisseur. He really likes good art. I think he's art focused first. Like I've always, I think that's why I told him, like, out of all the stuff, which is the APO? Like, which one is the APO that you know? And he said, you guys. So That
Wow.
was huge. I was like,
That's
damn, you said
crazy.
them? I was
Clip
like,
that.
and I went to your Twitter. I was like, them? You sure, Big Koizi? And then I looked at the art and I'm like, damn, that, yeah, I can see why you
Clip
like this.
that. See, you saw the follower count and you were like, I don't know,
Yeah,
Koinski.
yeah. I'm literally a slave of this degen
We need the pin
microverse.
tweet needs to get your approval. That way we could draw in, the right people. But yeah, it's a big thing. And so that's huge. Someone clip that. I want to like bring it up to Bitcoinski.
Big time. Someone clip that. This video will live on YouTube though, so you can go in
Oh,
there,
beautiful.
clip it, do your thing. What do you love to do but when you're not DJing or creating shit?
Okay, so I'm not creating. It has to be like a real life answer. It can't be like I love traveling or something.
You could do anything you want.
I mean, I gotta say, man, I'm sort of being from like two complete opposite side of the worlds. I do feel like a big passion of mine is, being connected to like these different countries, different passions. Like I said, I'm from North Africa. My roots are in I was born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, literally opposites. It's interesting too, because I'm also really into mechanical stuff. I'm a like a motorhead.
Nice.
So maybe that has something to do with why we're doing something so mechanical.
You worked
with
on your
Roboramen.
Slam Honda Civic 1995 EJ1.
On the Civic 95 with the loud exhaust, sounds like a trumpet.
Open down pipe.
If you hear that and you're in LA, that's me.
What's your favorite cars, like Motorhead style? Like what do you working on now?
I have a Volkswagen Corrado 1990,
Ooh.
older than me. That's been my baby. It's a project car. But I'm a Porsche guy through and through.
You can buy a Porsche with Bitcoin now or crypto.
I'm not. The thing is, like, I really like my Corrado. I got it for $1,000. It's a go-kart. It's horrible. It's never went a week without breaking down on me. And I think it's gonna last me a long time, that car.
For real?
It's a bucket. It's a complete bucket.
You got antifreeze in there, or are you just watering it?
No, just water, because it's in Washington. We don't, I really should put antifreeze for the winters out there.
Damn,
but it's a bucket.
So
I don't like spending too much on it. I just like working on something with my hand, and it's what's available.
Do you think do you think that spills over to your, Web3 life? Like you're just always tinkering with shit. Like you always will tinker.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even before Web3, I always had to be working on a project of some sort, like whether it's just, again, working on my car. Really, I like, I'm sort of really into PC building as well, or just house projects. It sounds lame, but I'm just like, I have to just be working on something. So working on a generative like this has been really rewarding, actually, and seeing it come to life.
I like to sleep, so I really need to figure out how to do like sleep to earn or some shit. Like I need to figure out the sleep, DeFi
I'll connect you
model.
to someone. I know a guy.
Bro?
I know a guy. Yeah, I don't know
really
if it's DeFi model, but it's
maybe you could
it's
take
more
that
of
snoring algorithm and turn it into tokens or some shit. I'm really trying to.
I know a lab.
You know a lab.
They'll just monitor your sleep.
What are some of the projects that you think are super undervalued that aren't the Mark the Habibis? Because we know those, the Kid Aids. Like, what other project PFPs do you think are super undervalued in your?
Oh, PFPs.
Yeah.
Right now, just because it's fresh and it hasn't even revealed yet, it's revealing in a few hours. Forever Bots. Extremely, extremely, extremely unrelated. These Peter Oscarson is a 3D animator and designer who's been around for the last 10 years. So the satisfying 3D loops? Yeah. This is like a big thing on Instagram, TikTok. He's the godfather of those. He started that trend. And he's also had a successful NFT career doing 1/1s on Super Rare and whatnot. And he created this generative. And he's been adamant on selling it only through private sale. And I don't think the way that he collected private, that he was allocating whitelist was correct. So because of that, it didn't sell out. And the floor is the same as mint or underneath. But you gotta check the Twitter. You gotta check the actual NFTs, what they're gonna look like.
Oh wow!
Because it's so polished and it's all animated.
Low key, dude. This is sick.
So I don't know if this counts as PFP because I don't think it is a PFP. I mean, Roboramen isn't either, but it is just artwork on its own. It's a collectible. It's done at the highest level. Artists, again, who have skin in the game for a long time. So you know they're not going anywhere.
It definitely might pick me up too, just to have it in my collection. Thanks to you, dude. Because
I want to say something like I don't want to, this isn't going to be the humblest comment I've made, but I called RCC when Slim Hoods were $20, $20 US.
Sheesh.
I don't even know what that is in ETH.
Sheesh. That's like point
So-
0.0001, like one.
And it's funny too, because James Curran is another animator that I've been following for so long. So it just comes from this experience of following people pre NFTs, right? Because it's the industry I was in. And I know the quality of work that they put out and the art that they put out. So I bought a bunch of Slim Hoods, and then they announced that they're doing this collective with Marcus Magnuson, Lucas Zanato. And just this morning, Forever Bots announced that they're doing a collective under their own studio name with Thomas Papel, which I believe is a French or maybe a Swedish artist, and another heavy hitter 3D artist. So they're doing the RCC formula, except with 3D.
Sheesh.
So
Forever Bots is
No.
your APO, like Bitcoin. He said
That's
you worth his
the-
APO.
that's it for me. Not financial advice, but
Hold on, I gotta give the sound effect.
Alpha plays only.
is that just you?
No, that's the homie Ben, Ben the knee. Dude, this was great. I'm really excited to mint some Roboramens. What's the total supply? Can you not say?
Not an ounce. Not
Okay.
an ounce.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your
Stay
favorite
tuned.
traits? What's some of your favorite traits?
There's
I like
a
that
sick
squid.
trait
I'm
that
not
we've
in
been,
front. I like that octopus.
the ramen stuff is cool. I think, my favorite trait is one of the collaborations that we're working on. We haven't announced it though yet, but beyond that, I think I'm just a sucker for the there's like this whole fully electrical kit.
Ooh.
And there's also this back, right? They all have these chopstick holsters, and it's a Nintendo 64 cartridge, and not a lot of people recognize that.
Ooh.
But it specifically has the golden Zelda Ocarina of Time N64 cartridge in there, and so that's definitely my favorite. And we're creating more of those, so I'm about to hop off the stream and get to it.
Bro, that whole cartridge too. You gotta have some dust action coming out of that thing, man.
Wow, that's crazy. We could do that because we already got Steam. We just need to add some
Little
dust,
particles.
some
Nothing
volumetric particles.
subtle. You might put
Yeah.
a memory card in there.
That's
Just
crazy.
joking. You don't need to put a memory card. Fuck that. Dude, what are you most looking forward to get it back to work on this project?
What am I looking forward to start creating?
Yeah.
Man, we haven't dialed in the this might sound lame, but we haven't dialed in the percentages and whatnot, So right now everything is just, when we're doing these renders, everything is just random, and we're getting some cool Roboramen out of it, but we're figuring out this whole grade system, and we got this whole spreadsheet that we're about to go in. It sounds so lame that I'm excited about a spreadsheet, but we're about to dial in all the percentages, and that's exciting for me. I want to get to that point where, I see Shaka every time a Hopper reveals he's freaking out. I want to have that, I want to feel that for my own work. So I'm excited to dial in percentages and start generating these.
Yo, dude.
It's still early. That's how early it is.
You are a force to be reckoned with. What happens when an unstoppable object meets an unstoppable force? Boom. Think about it. I think you definitely have, when Robo meets Ramen, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a nice. They better talk to you nice. You're gonna do some really, really banging things, amazing things. I am so happy to be able to get the story first-handed, and
For sure.
you need. I mean, like I said, I would love to have you back during that mint cycle.
I'd love to.
Really cool. I really like your vibe for sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm gonna keep you updated. I'd like to have you involved too. So,
Dude, I tell you,
let's get you in there. Bowl of cherries. I might have to play around with that tonight. See what I could cook up.
I will literally hunt all your cherry bowls.
The bowl of cherries might have to be a cool little Easter egg, like if you know type
If
thing.
you know. This is a part of the stream where I do give the guests the gong. The gong is an amazing frequency. And the gong allows you to say whatever you want. You can marry somebody when you hear the gong. You can embarrass yourself. You can put a chicken suit on. Whatever the fuck you want to do. But the gong is your power. Here's the gong.
This floor is mine right now.
Floor's yours.
Yo,
Do whatever you want.
floor is mine. Well, see, I'm now thinking, is my mom watching this? Because she very well could be. But, I would just say, yo, in this market, this might sound cheesy and corny, and you hear it 1,000 times. Check on your friends. It's serious out here.
I haven't heard that in a
Check
while, actually.
Check in on your friends. I'm lucky enough where I even have family involved in this, so we're checking in on each other all the time. But check into those, to your friends on Discord who might have disappeared for a few days because, even this Azuki news, it's fun to laugh at, but it could be troubling for some.
Checking on your friends. Lend them some shoulder action. Go and watch Lord of the Rings. Maybe Doctor Strange with them. Buy them a bag of popcorn.
This is random, but we do have Frodo Baggins in our corner. Elijah Wood is following RoboRamen. He's been a big supporter. He's been active.
Hold on.
I just needed to put that out there.
Hold on. Here you go. I got something for Frodo Baggins.
I wish I could.
It's the Shire, man. I just played the Shire.
I wish I could hear that.
Man.
There you go. But yeah, that's probably my biggest flex. Just want to put that out there.
Bro,
okay?
Elijah Wood, low key. I keep forgetting he's a true celebrity degenerate when it comes to this. He loves one-of-one art. I don't even think he gives a fuck about PFPs.
And he's just authentic to the core, man. He followed me. I started watching his interviews and stuff. He's just a cool dude. Just want to be his friend. And that's my biggest flex. I got Elijah Wood in my corner.
Dude, you will literally exchange palm sweat with that guy one day, hopefully.
I'm ready.
Dude, thank you so much. RoboRamen NFT to Valhalla they go, and we are here to support them in the dojo. You got the ninjas, the Shaolin monks, and the gurus got your back.
All love.
For sure. Guys, thanks again. Wow, that was amazing. Live the dream, eat ice cream, and above all, stay content. Peace, everyone. Peace out, dude.
Peace.
We're going to that favorite music banger. Later, man.